Hey Bitcoiners, Lockie here from Edge21. This is our weekly top 6 where we bring you the hottest trending Bitcoin news stories of the week. From a shitcoin's desperate lobbying battle, to a major AI breakthrough shaking global markets, to the US possibly making Bitcoin a national reserve asset. We've got all the major updates. Let's break it all down. At number 6. On the Bitcoin layer, host Nick Bhatia sat down with David Zell to discuss the shady company known as Ripple and their aggressive lobbying efforts against a Bitcoin-only US strategic reserve. Zell revealed that Ripple has spent millions trying to influence policy, pushing for XRP and other shitcoins to be included. But here's the kicker. Most of the crypto industry, even Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong, agrees that Bitcoin is the only real contender for a national reserve asset. Zell argues that supporting Bitcoin signals freedom, strengthens America's financial future, and keeps authoritarian influences at bay. The next few months could be critical in shaping Bitcoin's role in US policy. Sliding into number 5. UFC fighter Renato Money Moicano has a message for everyone. Sell all your stocks, real estate, and fiat. Bitcoin is the way out. On Robin Sayers' podcast, Moicano shared how he ditched luxury purchases like Rolexes to stack Bitcoin, calling it the hardest and soundest asset to secure his financial future. He warns that the financial system is on the brink with US debt spiraling out of control. If you buy stocks, you're financing the government, he said, arguing that Bitcoin is the only way to escape a broken system. Moicano is making bold moves. His goal? 100% of his wealth in Bitcoin within the next few years. Now that's conviction. At number 4. What would investing look like under a Bitcoin standard? Economist Saifedean Ammous tackled this question on his podcast, explaining that in a hard money world, people wouldn't need to chase risky investments to outpace inflation. Instead, simply saving in Bitcoin would likely see wealth appreciate at around 3% per year due to productivity growth. Imagine a world where a 25-year-old could buy a house in cash, thanks to sound money and true savings. Ammous suggests that in this scenario, massive stock market indexes like the S&P 500 wouldn't hold the same dominance, and more small businesses would thrive. A future where money works for you. Sounds like Bitcoin is reshaping everything we know about wealth. Coming in hot at number 3. Is the US about to build a Bitcoin reserve? James Lavish dropped 2 game-changing scenarios on Kitco News, explaining how Trump could move fast to put Bitcoin on America's balance sheet. Scenario 1. Congress passes the Bitcoin Reserve Act, adding 1 million Bitcoin over 5 years. That's 5% of total supply. But here's the shocker. Trump could bypass Congress altogether, using the Exchange Stabilization Fund, executing an executive order to buy Bitcoin immediately. Lavish warns that if this happens, governments and institutions worldwide will scramble to front-run the US. What happens when 5% of Bitcoin supply is locked away by the US Treasury? Expect a massive supply shock and much higher prices. At number 2. Are big banks about to flood into Bitcoin? Preston Pysh broke down 2 major developments that could cement Bitcoin into the financial system. First, the repeal of SAB 121 means that banks like JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs can now custody Bitcoin without needing to match it with treasuries as a liability, a game changer for Bitcoin adoption. Second, BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF, IBIT, just filed for in-kind redemptions, which means investors could withdraw actual Bitcoin instead of just ETF shares. If approved, this would reduce the risk of rehypothecation, ensuring less paper Bitcoin and more verifiable ownership. Pysh says this is one of the biggest developments for Bitcoin's long-term entrenchment into the global financial system. The message? Banks are coming for Bitcoin, and fast. And finally, our top story of the week. Your wealth is melting. Buy Bitcoin. That's a warning from Joe Burnett, who explains how an AI breakthrough just shook global markets overnight. The trigger? DeepSeek, a Chinese AI model trained for just $6 million, proving that major US tech companies are overvalued and at risk of disruption. Burnett points out that over $3 trillion is stored in Nvidia stock, but in reality, that's just a bounty for whoever can build AI more efficiently. The same goes for Apple's $3 trillion valuation, real estate's $300 trillion market cap, and gold's $20 trillion store of value, all vulnerable to competition or debasement. But here's the key takeaway. Bitcoin is different. Bitcoin cannot be debased. Bitcoin cannot be counterfeited. Bitcoin is the lowest entropy asset in the world. Capital is flowing into Bitcoin like water down a waterfall. And the longer you wait, the harder it is to keep up. The message is clear. Buy Bitcoin and protect your wealth before it's too late. And that's a wrap for this week's top 6 trending Bitcoin news stories. If you're as pumped as we are about Bitcoin's future, smash that like button, share this video, and subscribe to Edge 21 for your weekly dose of Bitcoin insights. Bitcoin is changing the game, and we are here to give you the edge you need to stay ahead of the curve. Don't forget to check out edge21.co, where you'll find personalized content including trending tweets, Nostr notes, videos, articles, and price analysis about Bitcoin. Thanks for watching, stay strong, and hodl on.